A man living on the edge of town set up trail cameras near the woods after his family's farmland failed. One humid August night, the camera captured this: a pale figure staring straight into the lens. He went outside with a flashlight and heard slow, wet breathing. A man-like shape appeared, skin stretched, eyes fixed, holding a dented axe. The man ran before it could strike. The next morning, the footage was mostly corrupted, except for a single frame. Who or what was this, and why was it there? A man was driving home late at night along a lonely dirt road when he felt something watching him. Strange noises echoed through the darkness, so he pulled out his phone to record. That's when he captured this.
Ay. Ay, 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 ay. Niñas! Son dos niñas, no manches.
Two figures ahead, shaped like young girls, but with no faces and standing in an unnatural pose. Terrified, he stopped filming and sped away, convinced those beings weren't from the world of the living. Was it just props meant to scare people off, or was it something real? In 2014, 3 friends skipped prom for a camping trip. During that weekend, one of them took a Polaroid photo of the other 2. Later, when they looked at the picture, they noticed a strange shadow behind the tent. Nothing unusual had happened during the trip, apart from some shouting that seemed to come from drunk campers. But the photo captured something none of them could explain. An investigator was exploring the deep forests of Vietnam at night when he captured some terrifying footage. While filming, he had no idea what he had recorded. He continued exploring, unaware of the figure nearby. Later, when he reviewed the footage, he was horrified by what he saw. Was it a real person, a ghost, a creature? Whatever it was, it shouldn't have been there. Deep in the forest, far from the main trail, a strange sight appeared. A group of people stood together in the middle of the woods, dancing oddly. It didn't feel like hikers just taking a fun break. To the hiker, it seemed more like a ritual. Finding them there in the quiet of the forest was unsettling. She quietly kept watching, making her way back to her car to leave. A woman was hiking when she came across a pipe near a very small village, but that wasn't the scary part. What was written on it is what truly unsettled her. Toys and candy with an arrow pointing inside, as if inviting children to crawl into the darkness. The woman didn't dare go in to see if someone might actually be there. She was far too scared, and understandably so. She couldn't help but wonder, had anything strange ever happened here? On Barnaby Mountain, a young black bear walked calmly into a crowd. The bear moved along without aggression, seeming more curious than threatening. But not everyone seemed to notice it. Luckily, the bear wasn't looking for trouble, so it slowly wandered off. This photo, believed to be from the 1960s, shows a young woman standing outside an old stone gate. At first, the scene looks ordinary, but a strange detail changes everything. Next to her, a faint, translucent figure stretches across the frame. The blurred shape resembles an arm reaching toward her side. The photo is too old to tell whether it's a camera error or something more mysterious, but it certainly looks intriguing and a little off. A man was in his yard when his cat dragged back something disturbing. A small, dried figure.
Where the hell did you find that thing? Huh. The fuck, man? Why don't you bring home rats instead?
Its thin, skeletal limbs and shrunken body looked almost mummified. Was it just an animal carcass, an elaborate hoax, or did this cat bring home something truly mysterious? Late at night, a man spotted a wrecked car on the side of the road. He snapped a few photos before the police arrived. At first, it looked like nothing more than an abandoned vehicle, but later, when he checked the pictures, he noticed something disturbing. In 2 shots, a face seemed to appear behind the shattered windshield, twisted in pain. When the photos went online, many believed they showed the spirits of the victims. Others dismissed it as pareidolia, but could it really be just that? While hiking, Jason discovered a huge hole in the ground. Curious, he lowered a GoPro with a torch to see how deep it went. The footage first picked up scratching noises. At the bottom, he captured something chilling.
I'm gonna slow it down for a minute, but doesn't that look like a coyote right there? It's really hard to tell. Here it comes back in the screen again, but boy, that sure looks like a dog to me down there at the bottom. Okay, what in the hell is this? Now watch, ready? Wait. Did you see that? That is a face. This thing is definitely haunted. I didn't notice that the first time, but look at that! I don't know what the hell that is.
Viewers later claimed they spotted a face as well, as if the coyote wasn't creepy enough. While hiking, these guys came across an abandoned cellar. They heard snake sounds coming from inside and decided to carefully investigate. But then, this happened.
Eat medicine without a date. Use your private parts as ceramics.
Oh, whoa, 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 oh shit. Whoa. Calm down, calm down, calm down.
They noticed another snake nearby, and then another one blocking the exit. Suddenly, the hikers were no longer in control, the snakes were. How they got out of this situation remains unknown. A man was riding his mountain bike downhill on a forest trail when a gunshot cut through the silence. The bullet missed him, but it was close.
Oh, Jesus! Holy dude! Whew. That scared me, man. Whew.
It was a hunter who had probably mistaken him for a deer. Realizing the mistake, the hunter immediately left the scene. The cyclist was unharmed, but imagine if that hunter had taken a better shot. A group of friends were hiking in the woods at night. Everything was fine until they spotted something. At first, they thought it was an animal, but when they got a clearer view, it looked more humanoid. They recorded it as it moved away, but no matter how fast they chased, they couldn't catch it. They continued their walk, terrified and on edge. One Father's Day weekend, a Facebook user visited Gettysburg with their family. While standing on East Cemetery Hill, their daughter snapped a picture. At first glance, it looked ordinary, but when they zoomed in, something stood out. The unsettling part was that no one else had been there at the time. It doesn't really look solid either, so it doesn't seem likely to be some object they just missed. Yet, it did appear on camera. So, what is it? The ghost of a long-lost soldier? In 2010, a Facebook user captured a photo at Devil's Den in Gettysburg. At the time, the camera showed only a black void, but later when they brightened the image and zoomed in, they saw what looked like a face. The user also mentioned a family connection to Gettysburg, an ancestor who fought with the 37th Virginia Infantry at Culp's Hill. They believe the photo might have something to do with that. Still, like many others, I think this could just be a case of pareidolia. Or am I wrong? Hikers discovered more than 100 piles of cremated human remains near a dirt road outside Searchlight, Nevada, and notified authorities. The Bureau of Land Management confirmed the remains are human, marked only by fragments of urns and zip ties. The mounds stretch across the desert floor, and from above you can see how each dot represents an abandoned life. Authorities are investigating both whose ashes they were and who left them behind. Spreading ashes isn't illegal, but on this scale, it feels very, very wrong. For now, the origin of these remains and the reason they were discarded remains unknown. A woman was visiting a relative's grave when she noticed one flag moving constantly, while all the others around it stayed still. There was no wind, as nearby plants and identical flags didn't shift at all. When she stepped closer to the same tomb, her dress moved slightly as if brushed by air, yet the grass at her feet remained motionless. The scene left her certain she had witnessed something supernatural. She believes the person buried there must feel lonely. Perhaps they don't get many visits from family or friends. So whenever she goes to visit her own relatives, she also stops by this grave, just to keep it company. A group was on a peaceful hike when they noticed a cloud of dust rising from a mountain rock. But as they looked closer, they realized it wasn't dust at all. It was bats. Thousands of them, breaking free from the darkness and rushing into the sky like one living stream. They hadn't expected to see anything like this, but it definitely made their hike a lot more interesting. This person was exploring an abandoned house deep in the woods. As they wandered through the decaying rooms, they snapped several photos, but one image stood out. In a dusty room, the camera seemed to capture a cloaked figure standing near the window, almost as if it were wearing a nightgown. The explorer insisted no one else was inside. Some believe it shows the ghost of a Victorian-era woman. In Northland, a camper set out to test the reputation of a forest long rumored to be haunted. He pitched his tent beneath a tree set to carry dark energy and placed a motion sensor camera nearby. During the night, the camera tilted upward as if drawn to the branches. The footage revealed a chilling sight. A pale figure draped in white with long black hair, suspended as though floating midair. Some say it's a trapped soul, others a forest guardian, and others think it's fake. 9 years ago, on the plateau of Maravasi, a photographer captured something strange. In one of his shots, a towering humanoid figure appeared in the distance. Its body looked massive, its face completely dark, even under broad daylight. Locals say no one in the village reaches such a height, and the photographer never saw anyone there except for the passerby. The photo has never been proven fake, and its details remain unsettling. To this day, the question lingers: who or what was the giant of Maravasi? In Bindar National Park, Harbour explore went searching for a hidden waterfall. But during their adventure, they stumbled upon something unsettling.
Alright, here we are. It's a bit weird, eh? It's like a kid's bag there. It's a hiking pack. Part of a chair. I can't believe it's still standing. Yeah, so who knows how long this thing's been here. I mean, the body of the fella was found, I think, 2009. So if it is his, I'm not good at maths, what's that? 15 years or so ago? Surely it can't still be standing. We're gonna have a look around and see what we can find.
They found an abandoned tent with scattered belongings. They began to wonder if this tent was connected to a body that had been found in a nearby creek in 2009. Then they discovered this.
What is it?
Date of manufacture is 2000, 28th of the 3rd, 2007.
Yeah, right. Bloody hell.
What'd you say?
So it could be that old, eh? Oh, that's a pair of track pants.
What size are they? It's cheap bastard.
Lift the bag up. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a bloody small line under there.
It's all orange paint inside it. Bright orange paint. A travel tag? Your name on it? Oh, it's a coke wrapper.
Dunno.
What brand bag is it?
There's nothing in it, eh?
Something dated from 2007. The condition of the item suggested they had been left untouched since then. Soon after, the men started hearing strange, horn-like sounds deep in the forest.
Yeah, it's creepy in here, eh? I don't know, it's just got a weird feeling. I don't know, you probably would have heard on the video just saying there was like a horn noise. It was only sounded man-made and it was only 100 metres or so away, so it's pretty much the way we're heading down this waterfall. Yeah, it's pretty bloody eerie if this was the actual tent of the torso that was found.
They continued their journey to the waterfall, but everything now felt different. Eerie. A person was driving home when they noticed something strange walking along a lit road at night. The figure had pale skin, black eyes, and pointed ears. Somehow, a passerby nearby seemed completely unfazed by its appearance. But when the car horn blared, the figure turned its head. Whether it was someone in a costume or something else, it felt undeniably odd and out of place. Simon, a YouTuber, visited Yester Castle in Scotland, a ruin linked to goblin legends. It didn't take long before he started hearing things.
Can you hear voices?
Despite his fear, he decided to go in.
Look at that. Whoa. This is so cool. The structure is just immaculate. I mean, it's been here since 13th century. That staircase down there is considered to be the staircase to hell. That wasn't me. Maybe it's goblins.
He continued walking down the stairs. There was no one inside, and even at the bottom of the stairs it was a dead end. He couldn't find the source of the sounds. But when he climbed back up, he discovered this.
Something big is coming. Let's go.
He felt freaked out as he expected to find people inside, but he didn't. So where did these sounds come from? He left without answers. A man kept getting alerts from his motion sensor late at night. Tired of guessing, he set up a camera at the far end of his property to catch what was causing it. One night, the footage showed something eerie. In the middle of the frame, a shape appeared, faint, almost human-shaped, walking back and forth like it was stuck in a loop. It wasn't smoke, it wasn't fog, the shape moved too clearly, as if it was walking. The man was spooked, convinced that was the cause of the alarms. In February 2019, a YouTuber named Jared McLean heard a strange noise outside his home around 2 a.m. Curious, Jared got dressed and stepped outside to investigate. Later he shared the video, asking others what it could have been. Theories poured in. Some mentioned train brakes, while others pointed to mysterious sky sounds reported around the world. But to this day, no one really knows what caused it. A Facebook user shared this photo taken in a friend's garden. It shows a blurred black and white figure, shaped like a man. When compared with an old picture of their friend's father, the likeness was striking. Commenters wondered if it might be the spirit of a soldier. Did her dad have a military background, or was the house near military grounds? Unfortunately, the poster never provided any answers. One night, while a family was away visiting relatives, their backyard security camera captured a disturbing figure moving across the yard. When they returned and reviewed the footage, they were terrified. No one was supposed to be there, and they have no neighbors. The property isn't easy to reach either. Nothing in the yard had been disturbed, and there were no other signs of activity. They had no idea what to do in a situation like this. On Vancouver Island, Steve Macbeth installed security cameras to keep watch over his yard, often catching stray animals or the occasional trespasser. But one night, his phone alerted him to a person. Expecting trouble, he checked the footage and froze. On the screen, a glowing white dot appeared, then suddenly turned and moved directly toward the lens. To Steve, it looked almost humanoid, like a fairy. For his granddaughter, who saw it wide-eyed, the moment felt truly magical. Was it just a bug, or an actual fairy? A Calgary couple hiking the Troll Falls Trail in Kananaskis had a close encounter with a grizzly bear. The animal suddenly appeared on the path and began moving toward them, showing signs of aggression. With no bear spray, they backed away slowly, trying not to panic. The bear continued to follow, making them fear the worst.
When he didn't look like he was going to give up, that's when I thought, well, I've heard make yourself large. So I put out both my hands, made myself as large as possible, and just roared as loud as I could.
And so when Howard did that, then I stood beside Howard and did the same thing. I did the same, looking at it, and it worked.
As a last resort, they raised their arms, made themselves appear larger, and let out a roar. The bear eventually turned and disappeared back into the woods. For a moment, they truly thought they had no chance. Not long ago, a video surfaced showing strange patterns in a farm field, what many believed to be a classic crop circle. Some argued it wasn't mysterious at all, but simply a meteorite crashing down, creating a flash before the shape appeared. The theory sounded convincing, especially since a small object could be seen hitting the ground first. But then another recording appeared, reportedly from the same farm on a different night. This time, two glowing lights skimmed across the ground as a circle took shape. Was it the work of aliens? Nobody knows. A Reddit user's brother set up a trail camera inside his trailer on an isolated property. 3 hours after leaving, the camera captured a single chilling photo. When he returned to investigate, the yard and driveway showed no signs of visitors. No footprints, no tire tracks, only his own. He noted that the figure in the photo didn't appear in the TV's reflection, though it's unclear if the angle would have revealed it. Whatever was standing there that night, it left no trace, no explanation. Just one haunting image. While making his rounds at an old manor, a staff member noticed something strange at one of the windows. Curious, he went inside to check. The alarm was still set, and the room appeared completely normal. Nothing seemed out of place. As he left, he reset the alarm and glanced back at the window one last time. But whatever he had seen there before was gone. The Sonora Inn, built in 1896, has a history of unexplained events. In December 2021, investigators recorded unusual activity. Their EMF meter detected a presence, and shutters opened as flames appeared nearby. Outside, they spotted a dark figure moving across a doorway in the firelight.
Cara do céu, cê louco!
Later, inside again, they heard clinking followed by a loud bang.
Cara, que sentimento horrível! Cara, que sentimento horrível, pessoal! Ui! Cara do céu!
The flame they had lit was suddenly extinguished, and new fires erupted.
Cara do céu!
The incident suggested more than a haunting. It was a warning. Time to get out of there. And now, let's watch this next video.